afternoon.
Can you use your end? I've got something that might be helpful.
I'm sorry, just jogged my memory.
My name's Cape, Nigel Cape.
Mr. Cape.
We were burgled a fortnight ago. For the second time in 12 months.
Yes, I'm sorry. I remember now, yes.
Yes, I was wondering if you had any news, but obviously not.
Well, the investigation would be in the hand of CID. You should have received a letter.
Yes, well, I had something to tell you. But I can see that my burglary is not your problem.
Look, burglaries do concern me, Mr. Cape. But investigation is someone else's job. It requires a specialist. Now, what were you going to tell me?
You better come in. Shut the door. I was making out the insurance claim, and I thought I'd better check the value of that little porcelain figurine thingy. I put £50 on the list I gave the police. Never liked it, and the cleaner couldn't even bring herself to dust it. Neither use nor ornament, you might say.
But
Turns out to be worth 300 quid. Which leads on to another item, you see.
which is?
Well, I thought 300 quid. What's so special about it? And I went to look it up in the Encyclopedia of Antiques. Not a subject which normally rivets me. Present from Carolyn's sister 2 Christmases ago. I've hardly ever opened it. Coffee table book, really.
And what did it tell you?
Absolutely nothing. You see, it wasn't there. The book was pinched as well. Had to add that to the list.
Right. Well, I'll make sure this gets to the officers dealing with the case.
Yes. I'm sure they're as eager to track down the culprits as you are.
It's working, see? But the pin's damaged where it's been hitting the room.
Yeah, well, I'll leave it with you.
Thursday?
Cheers.
What can I do for you, mate?
Mr. Franklin,
Yeah, that's right.
Detective Constable Dashwood, Sunhill Police.
Uh-huh.
I was hoping you might be able to help us with our inquiries.
I just got to enter this in the register. Won't be a second.
Did you sell this?
Couldn't tell you.
Maybe if you took a proper look at it.
BSA Scorpion 22 caliber.
Did you sell it?
Well, as I say, nowhere known. It's an air pistol. Don't need a license for use on private premises.
I'm not asking about licenses. Do you remember selling it?
Look, I must have sold loads of them. Some second-hand. It wouldn't mean a thing if it passed through my hands.
Would it mean anything if I told you a 14-year-old kid was likely to lose the sight of one eye? Someone started a sniping campaign on the Cockcroft estate.
You got the one who did it.
No. This was found abandoned on the roof of the flats.
Look, I could work in a builder's merchants. I could flog you a length of pipe. You could smack someone over the head with it. That's not my fault.
Oh, Mrs. Gregory,
Yes?
you reported a burglary.
The police have already been here.
Oh, the area car, yes, but they couldn't spend much time with you. We like to try and talk to people properly when they've had a break-in. Can I come in?
Yes, right. It's kids, isn't it?
Well, it's difficult to tell at this stage. Oh, dear.
Look at it. They turned the kids' bedroom upside down. There's no need for that
Mrs.
kind.
Gregory, I know you want to get yourself straight, but the scene of crime officer's going to be along later. As soon as they've finished, you can sort yourself out.
What do they want to pick on us for?
Well, a lot of the time it's just the luck of the draw. But there are some things you should be thinking about to make the place more secure. Your local victim support group can help you with advice or if you want to talk. For instance, windows that lock with keys are better than with just catches.
Oh, you won't catch 'em. If you did, they'd just get a pat on the head. I'd like to go in and wreck their homes. That's more like justice.
As you're now the authorised firearms inspector, I thought I should tell you.
Here we are. Franklin.
It's not that I'm saying he's bent or anything.
What then? Careless about security? Keeping inadequate records?
No, not that I could see. But, well, not cooperative. I mean, if we've got to have people on our ground trading in lethal weapons, well, I think they should be bending over backwards to show that they're on our side.
Yes, I'm not unsympathetic to that point of view myself, Dashwood. But I don't intend to use our powers for purposes of harassment.
Of course not, sir.
Having said that, there's no reason why Mr. Franklin shouldn't have the benefit of a snap inspection, just to keep him on his toes.
I hope I'm not out of order coming to see you about this, sir. Inspector Monroe said I should put it to you myself.
I put round a circular saying I've got an open-door policy on crime-related matters. I meant it.
Well, the fact is, community policing on 4-beat is going seriously pear-shaped. I mean, I turn up to hold people's hands when they get burgled. I drink their tea, I give them support and advice, but what they want is action. And I can't give it to them. And neither, apparently, can anyone else.
That's not strictly true.
Look, it's not my place to tell CID their job. But I'm the one who's out there carrying the uniform, and I'm the one they turn to. And I can see them looking at me and thinking, she's about as much use as a chocolate teapot.
Look, a few years ago, CID were only too keen to grab beat crimes off the uniforms. Caused a lot of resentment.
I'm not suggesting the uniforms start playing detective, but I would like to see experienced beat coppers using their local knowledge, at least in the preliminary stages of investigation, or where we've screened out the crime for lack of resources.
Look, the more we all pull the same way, the more I like it. You were right what you said about experienced coppers, Gordon. It's got to be horses for courses with a caper like this.
Well, why don't we suck it and see? The 4-beat burglaries could be the target of a pilot project. I could put a good man on it as liaison, and the legwork could be down to an experienced uniform.
Noakes. Sea relief. He's got something between his ears.
What about Ackland? She blew it up to me in the first place.
Ackland, yes. Well, she's a sensible sort of woman. You could do a lot worse. I'd go for Noakes, though.
Well, I'd rather use Ackland, really, Derek. She's very keen. If I square it with Monroe?
Yeah, all right. If he can manage without her, you can have her.
They don't get many bangs for the buck these days. Look, I'll get back to you, Mick. I've got my hands full here.
Mr. James Franklin.
That's right.
Good afternoon, Mr. Franklin. Inspector Monroe, Sun Hill Police Station. I'm here to inspect your premises, stock and records to ensure that you are in compliance with the terms of your firearms licence.
But I've been inspected. Only the other month.
Not by me, you haven't.
So, Ted, I'd like you to act as CID liaison on this 4-beat burglary pilot project.
Whatever you say, sir.
That's a fairly negative reaction.
The pattern of the 4-beat burglaries, as it's already been pointed out, sir, suggests opportunist jobs by juveniles. It happens on their way out of school. They don't carry tools, so it's a boot or a brick that has to do it. Once they're inside, they grab cash or whatever else they can fit in their pockets.
I'm well aware of the difficulties of detection under these circumstances.
Detection has nothing to do with it, sir. Once in a blue moon, a householder trips over one of the tow rags, and if we handle him right, he clears up another half a dozen cases for us.
So what do I tell the people who pay our wages?
The truth might make a change.
All right. I'll find someone else.
No, sir. You asked me to do the job, and of course I'm perfectly willing. The last thing I want to do is give the impression that I'm uncooperative.
Then what was all that aggravation about?
You asked me for my opinion, sir, which I hadn't volunteered, and I gave it honestly, which I assume is what was wanted. So if that's all, sir, I'll begin work with WPC Ackland right away.
Go on.
Excuse me asking this, Chief, but is this going to take very long? We're getting to my busy time, see?
When the kids come out of school, you mean?
No. But business is business.
We've all got our jobs to do, sir. Show me this gun in the register, please.
So, I'm going to see the school's liaison officer this afternoon and see what schools we can get into to talk about crime. I'm also going to talk to the crime prevention officer and see if it makes sense to leaflet the whole area.
June, this sort of beat crime is exactly like an attack of boils. You squeeze one, it pops up somewhere else.
I can't sit with someone whose house has just been turned inside out and tell them that.
When the perpetrators are amateurs and the proceeds are untraceable, you're going to have to tell them it's just a case of pot luck.
Well, I don't think we are dealing with amateurs in all these cases, Ted.
Oh, you don't think so?
All right, so you're the expert. See what you think. In a significant minority of beat 4 crimes, small, high-value items have been picked out.
Burnside reviewed the cases. He wouldn't have missed something like that.
No, you see, you wouldn't see the pattern from the files. I mean, often it's things that people haven't realised have been taken until a couple of weeks later. Or things they didn't put a proper value on. I had one this afternoon, so I've been ringing around checking.
Show me what you mean. Come on.
Hang on.
Is that number a 7 or a 1?
7.
Try to make the digits clearly distinguishable. Your stock and records appear to be in order, Mr. Franklin.
Glad you're satisfied, Inspector.
There remains the question of your security arrangements.
Oh, still shutters on the windows, alarms.
Show me.
20 burglaries. Same MO. Daylight, ground floor door or window, nothing fancy, brute force, no tools, no ladders. Cash and limited number of small items taken.
You see, it cries out kids. They don't even take TVs or videos because they don't have transport.
Yeah, except for these 5. Porcelain figurine, now valued at 300 quid. Dinky toys.
Dinky toys? I thought you were onto something.
No, hang on, I'm talking about 1950s models in their original boxes. Turns out they're worth 500 quid apiece.
So we could have a knowledgeable professional using the same MO as the kids to cover his tracks.
Exactly. I'm supposed to be the school's liaison officer.
Yeah, well, you do that, June. I'll do the detecting.
All done now, okay? Well, I had them grills before, but they came one night with a motor and chain and dragged one of them off.
Yes, it's in your file.
Well, still shutters do the trick, though, eh?
Apparently.
Well, can I open up again now?
Yes. Sierra Oscar from Inspector Monroe.
Go ahead, sir.
Notify the relief sergeant that Franklin's gun shop is about to test its alarm systems. All of them.
Oh, Paul, I'm sorry I'm late.
No problem. It's good of you to give me a lift.
How'd the visit go?
Well, I seem to go down all right. There's always a lot of interest in drugs. Just hopes for the right reason.
And what about the idea of doing something on the burglaries?
Well, I thought we could work something out. Can't promise you miraculous results, though.
Look, I'm not asking for that. I just want to tell people we're doing more than shrugging our shoulders.
Well, in the end, it's time that makes a difference. Majority of the ones who are at it will grow out of it. Minority will turn professional. Usually the ones we've nicked.
So prevention has got to be better than locking them up.
Well, I've got to believe that in my job.
Still, it's not as if rehabilitation never works.
No. As a matter of fact, there was a kid at that school a couple of years ago. Darren Saunders. Ever come across him?
No, the name doesn't ring a bell.
Classic juvenile burglar. Couldn't leave it alone. Went through the whole tariff. Conditional discharge, probation,
Attendance centres.
That's right. Always back at it again. And he got youth custody. Funny thing was, at school he never opened a book. In youth custody he couldn't get enough reading matter. Made himself into a bit of an expert on art and antiques.
Antiques?
Yeah. All of a sudden he found his purpose in life. He runs a stall now down the market. Oh, it's amazing what you can flog these days. Asked me if I got any old toy soldiers, clockwork trains, steam engines.
Stinky toys.
That's right. He reckons they're worth hundreds in good condition.
Oh, did he say that?
Yeah. What about it?
It sounds like Darren Saunders will do nicely.
You don't think he's at it again?
I think he's worth a try.
Well, just don't let on the name came from me. I've got to work with these kids.
Sierra Oscar from 85, receiving over.
So, we've got Anderson, Dugdale, Farmer, Slag family off the estate, well known to us. Then there's Harvey, Hawkins. Oh, no, he's no good to you. He's away at the moment. And Jackson, Kershaw.
And these are all persistent juvenile burglars?
Not half. Mulholland, Prentice, Right little charmer he is.
Excuse me, Sarge.
Mm-hmm.
Message from June Ackland says you should check out a Darren Saunders.
Saunders. Darren. I was working my way round to him.
Did I expect that?
Bloody
Darren Saunders! Yes. Take the Sergeant Road to Sun Hill. I wonder if you can help us with our inquiries.
Hey, careful!
Where'd you get this then?
That's clearance on Union Street. Yours for 30 bob. It's not collector's item, you can check underneath.
Well, is that it then?
I'm not 100% happy about that empty flat upstairs. They could have the floorboards up and break in here through the ceiling.
They could dress midgets up in frogman suits and shove them up through the S-bend in the bog.
I don't think the security of these premises is a matter for hilarity, Mr. Franklin.
No, point taken, Inspector, point taken.
That's it for the moment, Mr. Franklin. Thank you for your time.
No problem, Inspector, no problem. So, be seen in a couple of months then, eh?
No point in snap inspections if we announce them in advance, Mr. Franklin. Could be 6 months. Could be tomorrow.
Yeah, right.
Some people in your business, quite voluntarily, adopt a practice which has considerable merits.
What's that?
Well, when they sell weapons that don't require registration or a license, crossbows, air guns, they keep an informal record. Serial number, customer's name and address, maybe a brief description.
But the law...
Oh, the law doesn't require it. But it has beneficial consequences all round. You might like to give it some thought.
Yeah, right, Inspector. I will think about that.
I'll be seeing you, Mr. Franklin, sooner or later.
What are these keys for?
What's keys? Throw pocket watches in there. You know.
Where are the watches?
God knows, people collect keys for their own safe. 900 quid for a nice looking set. Stunning, ain't it?
All these yours, Darren?
Yeah, I use it for reference.
Encyclopedia of Antiques. Happy Christmas to Caroline and Nigel. Anybody call you Nigel, Darren?
Or Caroline?
So it was just luck, really, Paul mentioning Darryl Saunders.
The point is, you were alert enough to pick it up and run with it. There's enough grief from above in this job. Don't fight when you get a bit of credit.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, June. It is June, isn't it?
Yes.
CID, Gordon Ray speaking. Yeah, hold on a moment, will you?
Look, I won't take up any more of your time.
There's a lot more I'd like to talk over before we formalise this coordinating group. I want to get this lot off my plate, so I'm stuck here for the evening. You wouldn't be free for a swift half when you come off duty? Maybe grab a bite to eat?
Well,
You got something fixed up?
no, I've only got to feed the cat. She can use her initiative. That's fine.
Catch you later, then. Lots to talk about. Hello. Sorry about that.
Darren, that antiques book puts you at one of the burglaries. Now, why don't you do yourself a favour and wipe the slate clean?
I'm not putting my hands out for every job round there.
Nobody's accusing you of being Superman. Just tell us what you want taken into account.
All right.
And it won't do you any harm if we can trace the property.
When you said all the gear on the barrel was clean, Darren.
It's not from round here. Not on your list, right?
Where then?
I've got this mate down in Brighton. He's got a shop in the lanes, you know?
I know the lanes, yeah.
Well, he fences stuff when someone's got a bit of work down there. Like, what I get from a job. Sling it in the van, take it down to him. And what the boys get down there, I'll bring it up to London and flog it off in the barrel.
We want a name, Darren.
Mr. Munro?
Yes, Dashwood?
Did you manage to speak to Franklin at the gun shop, sir?
Yes, if you have dealings with Mr. Franklin in future, I hope you'll find him both equipped and disposed to be helpful.
Really? What did you do? Put the frighteners on him?
It's my experience that if you deal with the public in an open and even-handed manner, you'll normally get the cooperation you deserve.
Yes, I'm sure that's correct, sir.
However, if you do have any difficulties with Mr. Franklin, just let me know. I might have to be a bit more demanding the next time I inspect him.
Thank you, Mr. Munro.
My pleasure.
No. You're the force's sweetheart today. I'll get these. Yeah, that's right.
Hey, June. Dave Quillen's trying to get us all down the curry house tonight when we knock off. Do you fancy it?
Oh, no, count me out.
Well, you got a date then?
No, I need an early night, that's all.
Oh, yeah.
You had a useful day at Graham's Hill then, Frank?
Yeah. Bumped into a few old mates, renewed a few contacts. Never does any harm, does it? Networking, us crime managers call it these days, isn't it?
That's the word.
Used to be known as the Old Pals Act.
Hello there.
Hi, T. Just popped in to see if anybody was going to raise the elbow tonight.
Count me in.
How about you, Gordon? Fancy sinking a few?
No, I've got a pile of correspondence to clear off my desk.
Well, we'll tell you where we'll be and you can join us later.
No, I'll make it another night, lads.
Rolling pin job, eh?
You got the picture.
Joys of domesticity.
Thank you. No, that's all I needed was another committee to sit on.
Oh, come on, cheer up, T. Think about all those brownie points.
Crap. Snotting those kids in and out of windows. You know what? Ray's freezing out a pair of us.
Oh, I don't know so much about that. I'll tell you something about Gordon Ray. He's a bit like a good snooker player. I mean, even if he doesn't put something, he makes sure there's very little left on the table for anyone else. He's not vulnerable.
Not as clean as he looks.
You got wind of something there?
Oh, you know me, I'm not one for rumours.
Oh, come on. Won't go any further. Not unless it's useful.
I reckon he's got something going on the side. With June Ackland.
June Ackland?
Yep.
Can't be done. I've tried it.
I'll tell you, I've got a lot of blots on my copybook. But the one thing I'm good at is knowing when people are covering up. And that pair are flanneling about something.
You're winding me up.
No, I'm not. I'm not saying it's gone very far. But there's certainly something.
All I can say is more power to his elbow, eh? Do you know the one thing that's always got up my nose about Gordon Ray?
What? That he got promoted over you?
No. The one thing that's always gutted me about him is he's such a bleeding Boy Scout. I mean, he's clean in thought, word and deed. You can't hold a sensible conversation on that basis. But a man who's gone over the side, now that's a man I can do business with. And if he's cracked it with June Ackland, well, he's a better man than me. Now that's saying something.